The early morning fog settled low over the empty road as Officer Frank Mallory tightened his leather gloves and leaned against his black and white 1937 Ford V8 Cruiser. Its long fenders shimmered softly under the rising sun, and the bold chrome grille gave the car a presence that felt larger than the man who drove it. The radio system mounted inside was still warm from the previous shift, crackling every few minutes with distant voices from neighboring precincts. Frank had been a police officer for 9 years, and every year the world seemed to change, but nothing changed faster than the cars they relied on. He remembered his father speaking about the old days when officers patrolled on bicycles or slow Model Ts, chasing criminals on foot when engines failed. But Frank's cruiser was different, a machine built with purpose. The Ford V8 wasn't just a car, it was a declaration that the police were stepping into a modern world where speed mattered as much as courage. Gangsters in the 1930s were fast and ruthless, and the police needed something faster. Frank often felt that his cruiser understood him. The engine's rumble matched his own heartbeat during dangerous chases, and the stiff steering kept him alert through every turn. The radio crackled again. Unit 12. Possible robbery suspect fleeing northbound toward Route 4. Frank straightened up. That area was his beat. He opened the heavy door, slid into the leather seat, and turned the key. The V8 roared to life, sending a vibration through his chest. As he accelerated, he could see dust rising from a car far ahead. It was a bright red 1934 Chevy sedan, weaving wildly. Frank pushed his cruiser harder, feeling the weight of the steel body lean as the tires gripped the road. As he closed the distance, he realized how much American policing had changed. In the 40s, during the war, many patrol cars had been stripped down due to shortages, and officers sometimes drove converted civilian sedans with minimal equipment. But by the 1950s, new models like the Buick Century and Chevrolet Bel Air were appearing in departments everywhere. They were faster, stronger, and fitted with sirens that wailed louder than anything the old hand-cranked horns could produce. Frank flashed his lights, the red beacon spinning on top of his roof, primitive by modern standards but powerful enough to command attention on the open road. The suspect's sedan swerved as Frank pulled alongside. He shouted an order through his open window, and after a tense few moments, the driver finally skidded to a stop near an abandoned gas station. With the suspect in custody, Frank leaned against his cruiser, breathing hard. This car wasn't just transportation, it was a partner. It represented the era of American policing where technology began shaping justice, where engines replaced horses, and where officers like him learned to trust steel and gasoline as much as their instincts. As the sun lifted higher, Frank knew that decades from now, police cars would evolve far beyond what he could imagine. But in this moment, the Ford V8 stood as the proud symbol of a new American law enforcement age, fast, determined, and forever racing toward the future. The night shift always felt quieter until it didn't. Officer Jordan Reeves adjusted the glowing onboard computer inside his 2024 Ford Police Interceptor utility as he rolled slowly through the streets of Los Angeles. The city lights reflected off the black body of the SUV, its LED light bars sitting silently for now. Jordan often wondered what it would have felt like to patrol in the early days of American policing. His grandfather, also an officer, had driven a 1970s Dodge Monaco, a true muscle car that officers loved for its raw power. Jordan grew up listening to stories about high-speed chases, roaring V8 engines, and the thrill of driving machines built for toughness rather than comfort. But tonight, as his hybrid engine hummed quietly beneath him, Jordan felt surrounded by technology his grandfather could never have imagined. The dash camera recorded everything automatically, license plate readers scanned parked cars, and the GPS unit mapped every corner of the city in real time. Even his vest carried sensors that notified dispatch if he was injured. The modern patrol car wasn't just a vehicle, it was a mobile command center. A call came in, possible street racing near the river. Jordan flicked on his lights, and the red and blue beams scattered across nearby buildings. His interceptor shot forward with immediate torque from its electric assist, a far cry from the loud, gas-hungry engines of the 80s and 90s. Back then, departments relied heavily on the Chevrolet Caprice, Ford Limited, and eventually the Crown Victoria, the legend of American policing. The Crown Vic, Jordan knew, was still loved today for its durability and boxy charm. But the world had become faster, more crowded, and more complex. Modern officers needed more than strength. They needed intelligence built into every piece of their equipment. When Jordan reached the river road, two modified cars peeled away, their exhausts screaming. He accelerated, the interceptor gripping the asphalt with precise traction control. The computer displayed their estimated speed, and a drone from another unit hovered overhead sending live footage. Jordan maneuvered skillfully, remembering his grandfather's stories about chasing suspects with nothing but instinct and steel beneath him. Now he had data, satellite views, and an engine tuned for both speed and safety. After a calculated pit maneuver, Jordan brought one of the racers to a controlled stop. He approached cautiously, the flashing lights painting the scene in sharp colors. As he cuffed the driver, he glanced back at his patrol SUV, marveling at how far American police vehicles had come. From the heavy steel cruisers of the 1930s, to the muscle-packed sedans of the 70s, to the computer-guided hybrids of today, every decade had rewritten the rules of pursuit and protection. Jordan radioed dispatch, the calm voice in his ear confirming backup on the way. He looked at the skyline, bright, busy, alive with movement. His patrol car hummed beside him, a reminder that policing had evolved into something both powerful and sophisticated. The journey of American police cars wasn't just technological, it was a story of adapting to a changing nation. And as Jordan slid back into his seat, ready for the next call, he felt proud to be part of the newest chapter in that long road of history.